Welcome everyone to Code Lyoko. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a much better digital world game about people who go into this digital world to defeat an evil computer program.
Well, Digimon.
Digimon.
Well, oh, you know what I mean.
Digital monsters.
I'm talking
I think I see what
specifically
Joe
about the
means.
humans having these special avatars in this world that can do all this kung fu stuff.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Druva, I guess it's better than Dot Hack. No, sorry, not Dot. Sorry, just say that heresy. It's still better than Sword Art Online, I guess.
I bring it up because I recently saw an episode of Code Lyoko, and yeah, while some of the stuff is a bit iffy in there, it still holds up rather well.
You'd be surprised, Druva. That's an entire subgenre in when it comes to Japan in media. They have a lot of story that involve that.
Code Lyoko is French animation.
Oh.
Yep. Hence
Yeah,
why
it
they
turns out
mentioned.
France can do anime.
It's no surprise that the French love anime, so I'm pretty sure it's
they
intentionally
made also
mimicking.
they made also that other anime-looking animation. What's called Wakfu
Totally
or
Spies?
something. No, it was like called Wakfu. It's a fantasy thing. I'm gonna
By
check
the
it
way,
in time.
guys,
Yes,
Uh,
speaking
go ahead,
of anime,
Loser.
did you know that apparently in the year 2017, the entire medium of anime is now 100 years old?
Wow.
Oh,
really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was back in
1917?
Yes. So in the 100 years
Well-
of trash, waifus,
not so much that.
Otatos.
Okay, let me correct that. There's something that was. Yes, it is true that the very basic roots of anime, like the very earliest beginnings, date back to that period in time.
Hello.
But-
Why did the
okay.
Keymaker just peep in while we were getting beat up?
I think it's the mission of this entire room. We need to actually destroy the agents and get to him before the time runs out or something. Go ahead, Pedro. Continue.
Well, actually, we got to stop Morpheus from getting his health reduced.
Okay, could you guys hear
Trying
me?
to get to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
key
yeah,
before
go ahead.
Agent Smith drives him off.
Everything went hazy for me for a while there. Sorry. What I was trying to say, Dwibs, was, yes, back in the very early
Oh,
beginning.
come on!
Yeah.
I literally just got to the bloody door and he shut it off.
Wow.
I know Smith wasn't even anywhere near the doors.
It was trying to troll you, Dwibs. Anyway,
Yeah, great fucking hope the keymaker is.
Yeah.
well, Dwibs, to be fair, he did manage to help out Sean William Scott and Justin Timberlake get into the Matrix when they were in need of help.
Yes,
So
to
To
there's
be
that.
to be unfair, that's like a comedy spin-off. It was meant to be like that. This is meant to be, uber serious, and yet he's doing this trolling shit on me.
To be reverse engineering fair though, Dwibs, surprisingly the comedy plot was more engaging than the actual plot it was parodying.
Yeah.
Again, to be unfair, that's a comedy.
Anyway, see, here's the thing, Dwibs. While there are some minor common elements, the anime of 1917 and the anime of today are very, very different. Like, for example, the anime that we know of today, the most primary elements that we know of anime today, those originated with Osamu Tezuka, the creator of Astro Boy. He was the one who established the look that anime still goes for: the huge eyes, the
This
large.
kind of shonen tradition of
Yes,
beating the
Japanese
shit
people
I
who
aggressive
clearly
assaults.
do not
Keymaker.
even look Japanese.
It's just that a bunch of Smiths keep popping in, like that one just then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to be fair, I guess where Dwibs is coming from, he's basically just talking about, it in a birthday sense that, yeah, this is
Sure.
technically, the anniversary of that thing's birth. And to be fair, we do still to this day have some animes that have throwbacks to that style. Story-wise
see, the
more than
thing-
art-wise.
Yeah, but the thing is, before the second World War, culture in Japan was much more traditional in the sense that it was.
And he's doing it
Dang it,
again!
Keymaker, come on!
Yeah, but yeah, I get what you mean,
James
Pedro. Remember
teasing me at this point.
one of the
Looney
big
Tunes
things,
style.
surprising enough, remember how both Disney, well, in general, American animators did a bunch of propaganda cartoons during the war, the World War II. Japan kind of did some of their own, which resemble some of the old traditional anime style in sense of animation.
In fact, is one of the main reasons why there's a lot of apocalyptic imagery in something like Trigun, and other
Cowboy Bebop, yeah.
Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. That's because, well, you know, most of the creators of those shows lived through World War II. So, as you can probably say, guess they, better than all four of us, know what it's like to
Be
in
on the
that-
receiving, the receiving end. Okay, is
Well,
this
of course
the right
we don't have
one?
much time, but why don't you do something to actually help us?
Silly Joe, but this is the Matrix, a universe where the good guys are about as helpful as a quiche.
So
One of
let
the
me get
primary
this straight.
example- sorry.
A bunch of so let me get this straight. A bunch of kids in school did a better job protecting the world than the supposed chosen one does.
Oh,
Oh, and he
I
did
hate
it
you.
again.
died!
Okay. At this point, this is just Looney Tunes-esque with how they're doing the stupid door trolling.
Yeah, it's just like
I
a
know,
cartoon
okay,
with sorry.
Game, I know Warner Brothers were part of the publishing of this game along with Atari, but that doesn't mean you copy freaking Looney Tunes.
It's like how in Lost in Space, with how serious that film was trying to be, actually had a guy trying to come up to a woman with Porky Pig.
It's like that guy. Sorry. It's like it's just like that short with Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam in the ship. And it's constantly opening the same door over and over. Go ahead.
Oh,
Now
I can
you
go
let us
through.
in.
Well,
How
thanks.
freaking nice of you.
Thanks for the filler.
Oh yeah, we're back in this hallway again.
Okay, guys, you try that one. I need to use this one.
All right.
So how about
Oh,
we do
goody.
some
We're just in
Scooby-Doo?
time. We're just in time for the game trying to do something out of nowhere funny.
Also, those keys look horrible. Like,
I don't recall those
That-
keys ever being in the movies.
All right,
They
watch
are-
it because you have you're about to see one proof that this game is timed as fuck.
He
Ladies
says
and
that this
gentlemen,
could
Product of
be.
its time.
I swear to God, if he pulls a Final Fantasy VIII and the devil's behind that door.
No, you will, Jova. Well, technically, he kind of was the devil back in the day. Let's just say this is something that you will see probably in a South Park episode of all things.
Really? What could they possibly
So,
do to top all
that
the
door
stupidity in this
leads
game?
To the Senate room in the White House, I
Right.
guess. Okay.
So
Which is full of
Smith,
people, and of all people, who's preceding that with a a speech and everything, is Jeff Thompson.
hey, Dwibs, because
oh my God, social commentary.
yeah.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Hey, Dwibs, because as we all know, the best people to do political commentary are the Wachowskis, just like in Jupiter Ascending, right?
Pedro, they tried to do this shit in Speed Racer, remember?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he didn't even land on
He wasn't even in
anything.
the fucking
He
ground.
landed
Oh,
in
fuck.
midair. How lazy
Okay,
are you?
Fuck it. That's okay. At this point, they don't even give a shit.
Remember in Speed Racer where they tried to have the bad guy to give a speech about how money can corrupt everybody, but then like a split second later we're supposed to laugh at the zany antics of what's his name and his monkey.
You know what's sad, honestly?
There's lazy programming, and then there's just not giving a shit programming,
But
and
hey,
that's
on the
not
plus
giving
side-
a shit programming.
On the plus side, I guess Jack Thompson is dead. Yay.
So here's my
Great.
question.
And now we're copying the Burly Brawl scene, but this time we've got Morpheus.
Morpheus.
So here's my question: why don't they just go back out the way they came in?
Well,
Um,
I guess, Dwibs, in the interest of fairness, I guess one of the big problems I always had with this particular part of Reloaded was how
Wait.
Morph-
This happened in Reloaded? I don't.
Yeah,
I don't recall the
remember-
Senate
is it-
scene.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
it's right after Neo picked up Morpheus and the Keymaker.
Yeah,
Okay,
remember,
I know that. What I'm
Jova,
saying is that I don't recall it's actually going to the Senate building in the movie.
No, that's because Jova, they're extending the scene for the sake of gameplay length.
Yeah, there was no Jack Thompson in the movie.
Yeah.
Basically,
okay.
Jova, they're using the backdoor part as an excuse to have more random levels. That's basically.
So apparently, while other people were getting stuff done, they were just playing a bout of Scooby-Doo mystery doors.
Pretty much.
Also,
Now we'll see who the masked burglar is.
also,
And
you
they
know,
would've gone away.
Wachowski.
And I would have got. No, imagine if it was Smith doing that. It'd be like a. And I would have gone away with it too if it hadn't been for the pesky Neo.
Chosen, yeah.
Mr. Anderson, you mean?
Nah, that doesn't quite. Sadly, that doesn't quite fit.
You know, can I bring... Oh my god, they did it again!
You're not even giving a shit, are you?
But guys, it's shooting from the floor. Therefore, the floor shouldn't be there, right?
Also, Dwibs, like I was trying to say, in the interest of fairness.
Oh no,
one
they're
of the big
coming at us with poles, just like we've been fighting them out with instead of their guns.
Yeah. In the interest of fairness, Dwibs, one of the big problems I always had with this particular part of the story of Reloaded is how Morpheus... I don't even understand why the hell Morpheus went with Neo and the Keymaker. He had literally nothing to do. Why did he even...
Oh, he nearly got killed.
Yeah, he nearly got killed. He was actually more of a hindrance to the plan than anything. So I will give it credit that at the very least, this alteration to the story at the very least gives Morpheus something to do, I guess.
You know, I do have...
Not much, but I guess it's still technically an improvement.
You know, can I talk about a wasted potential with scenes like this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
Also, that was physics.
Okay. So we're in the Senate with Jack freaking Thompson, who's talking about how violent video games are a danger to society.
Morpheus,
now,
are you actually going to do something? Never mind. I guess Morpheus still has nothing to do because he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there.
Okay. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. How cool would it have been to actually, you know, fight off the Smiths while having Jack Thompson yelling in the background about stuff like this?
What?
Like this.
3
strikes and you're out, you stupid game.
And now he's got a grenade launcher.
Where did he pull that grenade launcher from?
So,
Remember, Paige, there's a bit where they can hack into it and give him guns.
Oh my god, Dwibs! Oh my god, well, not Dwibs, because I don't think he's even seen the whole thing. Teo, they pulled an Inception, like, you must be afraid to dream a little bit, darling. Suddenly pulled the grenade launcher out of nowhere. That's what they did. That's what Neo decided to dream bigger.
So, okay,
well,
guys.
If Neo wanted to dream bigger, imagine like a tank or something.
So, okay, guys, let's do a recap here. Agent Smith falls the same way in the same area, but he's holding a different weapon each time. Which means they actually went back and had to look at this scene 3 times and just put in a different weapon for each time. But they couldn't be bothered to have him land on the ground. Even though, again, it's the same area he falls from, the same area he falls in, the same camera angles. They couldn't be bothered to have them all fall down lower.
Yeah, that's what Jova just said. Keep in mind, it happened 3 times. So there's no way no one in the development team didn't notice that. There's no way. It happened 3 times. So they intentionally left that in because they just didn't give a crap.
Now, okay, back to my
guys,
point about...
Your point about social commentary, if they can't get it right in freaking Speed Racer, I don't trust them get it right anywhere else.
Yeah. Now, back to my point about wasted potential.
Leave that kind of social commentary to Trey Parker and Matt Stone, if you don't mind.
Oh, plenty of people can do that social commentary better, but anyway, here's a wasted potential with these rooms here and there. I get that they're trying to be serious and everything, but why not have some of the civilians actually cowering in the background? Like, okay, I get it, the agents can make them that, but really, all the fun is just seeing what happens beforehand. Like, seriously, after that, you've wasted your potential by having them turn into Smiths and then die. Like, seriously, do something weird and off the rockers. Like, have them go to Six Flags and, okay, you know, I hate to say it, do stuff like the movie theater scene.
Suddenly movie scene.
Yeah,
like,
we're skipping entirely the encounter with the architect.
Like, okay, seriously though, I have to ask though, if you could do something like that with the movie scene where the guy is commentating on that, why couldn't you do stuff like that in all these random locations? Like, you clearly have shown that you're not above doing humor, but nope, just clear the room and have it be empty of everything but enemies. That's nice.
Look at the bright side too. At the very least, unlike Enter the Matrix, the cutscenes don't look dark as shit.
And again, you know, I've seen the I don't have the Blu-ray anymore, sadly, but I've actually seen Enter the Matrix cutscenes on the Matrix Blu-ray. They look fine.
So Shiny fucked up somewhere.
Yes, Shiny fucked up somewhere.
Can you believe these people created Therefore Jim?
Yeah.
No, actually.
I don't even understand why they abandoned their cartoony direction for something like this. I mean,
You know,
this is...
Yeah, I will say this. For as many problems as Speed Racer had, I still count that as their best film because that film, at least for the most part, remembered it was supposed to be cartoony, and heck, even at times where he was actually in the right outfit and mock speed outfit. Like, literally, the thing dragging down the Speed Racer film was when they tried to stuff in all that political commentary.
Agenda, yeah.
And don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, I mean, the original
sorry.
Speed Racer itself had a lot of political agendas, but that was more so the fact of, they were kind of poking fun at that, with these companies
Yeah,
that would
not
spend
just that,
gajillions pounds of dollars just to try and knock one guy out of a race.
Not just
Honestly,
that,
though, Joe,
when it
I've
was
gotta-
introduced later on in the series, it was considered the point where he jumped at the shark. Like, that scene where Speed actually destroys, like, a bunker's blind, giant metal door with a bazooka. That's the point. I mean,
Honestly,
Yeah.
Jova, I'm having a hard time seeing through that, to be honest, because I still refuse to believe that a multi-million-dollar film that came out in the year 2008 looks that shit.
Well, I wouldn't say that it looks bad per se, it's just that they definitely went way too far trying to make it look abstract. As in
Oh,
the
by the way,
colors.
It looks,
Because
it
you're-
looks, it looks cheap as it looks really cheap, and and it's like I think it's even worse than the Star Wars prequels because I think I can count on one hand the practical sets in Speed Racer.
Well,
By
okay.
the way, we're completely skipping over the ending
Well,
of
actually-
Road and a good chunk of Revolution.
For the sake of fairness, Dwibs, and though I don't want to go into a rant about this, I'll just be quick. And I know this won't
one
se-
movie against three.
Go
no,
on.
no, not that. Because I've seen the behind the scenes features, so I know this stuff.
And yes, I know that I know the prequels had their fair share of
Where's the sound?
practical sets too.
Not just fair share, Dwibs. They
Guys,
had
where's the sound?
I wonder.
The sound went to ape. That's okay. We've already seen the movie. We know
No,
what's happening.
Yeah,
seriously though.
that's what they said. We were completely glossing over like
Oh, no,
one
no,
third of the
there's-
franchise.
Their sound, Jova, is just really muffled.
Not only that, but
Oh,
this is
yeah,
a
yeah,
scene
no,
from the
he's right,
first
he's right,
movie.
Jova. I have to squint my ears, but I think I can make. Whoa!
And for some reason, this cutscene is in game.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but the
I guess-
guy's
I guess
supposed
what we
to be
don't- I guess what-
bald.
And guess
Jova,
what, guys? We don't actually fight him. We just have to watch a cutscene of Neo fighting him.
brilliant.
yeah, I
Also,
would have wanted at least some QTEs here.
Also, Jova, you know how we both talked about sometimes about the whole issue of sometimes pre-rendered cutscenes having the whole this dissonance between in-game graphics and cutscenes. This is exactly the kind of shit. This is one of the worst case scenarios of that kind of.
I forget. Isn't this from the first movie?
The
Oh,
third.
we've
Alright.
seen this.
Oh,
did he-
that's
not
right,
even-
the
and
third
it's-
movie. I
And
forgot.
not
The...
even from the beginning. It's like in the between the
Near
middle
the
and
end.
near the end. We're glossing over like 2/3 of Revolution.
I
To
mean,
be
granted.
fair-
I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, yeah. The first 2/3 of Revolutions had almost nothing to do with anything, but
Not just that, but to be fair, if I wanted to watch the movies, I'll just watch the movies. Personally, when it comes to playing this game, I just, if it was good, mind you, I would just care about playing gameplay set pieces from the movie, not necessarily watching the whole story be told to me again.
I'd be
again,
fine with
why
that too.
is
The
this-
problem is
why
that
is
they're
this even
tied.
rendered in? Why is this even rendered in game? You already have movie scenes for this. You just showed the like a minute ago.
My main
Yeah.
issue, Pedro, is how they tie stuff together. It's done horribly. Like, okay. Whether or not you've seen the movies or not, still, they should be able to tie stuff together more clearly. Especially since it also
And
leaves
now
me.
we're back to movie scenes.
Especially since it also leaves me confused to the chronology within the game itself. That's how bad
Yeah.
they are connected.
That's
So
the
again,
fact
what was the
that
point of rendering that in game?
the fact that the movie scenes are edited in this clumsy way, it doesn't help, definitely.
Like, you
Symbolism.
know what the Spider-Man movie games did? They didn't bother with in-movie game cutscenes. I mean, granted, okay, I'll give them this. They went above and beyond and kind of made their own original stories that were loosely tied around the movie adaptations, but they were close enough, honestly. And okay, look, maybe Path of Neo didn't want to do that. Maybe it wanted to show, hey, look at us, we can include movie cutscenes because I guess that was hip at the time.
This was back in 2005, about 9 years after the death of the FMV genre.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look, I'm not.
Well, funnily enough, though, I mean, yeah, the Well, funny enough, the 2 years after this, Command and Conquer, which used a lot of FMVs, revived, and that did FMVs.
Well,
Yeah,
Command
but
and Conquer
but
did
that
come
actually
better.
integrated it better, kind of like similar to some of the Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah,
From what I remember,
wasn't
doing
it?
that since 1995.
Yeah, it kind of did. It kind of did it much like Wing Commander, if I remember correctly, in the sense like it didn't allow the FMVs to get.
And we immediately cut to Smith from that one quiet scene.
Yeah, from the very ending of the game.
And then we go
Yeah,
back
well,
and forth between scenes that weren't even back to back in the actual movies.
There's only one place you're going to find.
It's like they just cut them back together just because they seemed cool.
I guess.
Ah.
So
But hey, at least we're skipping over the pointless and dull Battle of Zion bit.
Wait, are we going to the final boss already?
Yep.
Well, this
Technically, Dwibs is just multi-phase.
What was even
Yeah.
the point of the third movie stuff then? Like, seriously.
Well,
Well, to be fair, Joe,
what was the point of most of the third movie in general?
Not just that, Liz, but well, Joe. But to be fair, the final fight between Neo and Smith is one of the biggest moments for fanboys. So obviously they would have to include this.
No. I'm not against them including this. What I am against, though, is like, okay, seriously. They were able to create all that filler. They were able to create all that filler content for stuff that didn't happen in the second movie. Yet they couldn't actually facilitate stuff that was going on with the third movie. In fact, you know, fans who haven't seen the movies are going to be confused as to why he's doing this, because we know why. Because Neo struck a deal with the machines that if he gets rid of Smith, the machines will leave humanity alone. Yet here we are now. Again, if you just went off of the cutscenes of this alone, you'd be lost.
Yeah. Jova, you know how we constantly hate on Sonic Lost World 3DS for, you know, the special stages making us, you know,
Dizzy.
sick?
Yeah.
This is a game. This is kind of this is no nor as bad, of course. I'm not even comparing. It's just that this
Oh,
game.
no. By all means, feel free to compare, because this game in a lot of ways is just as disorienting, if not even worse, than those special stages.
The graphics in this game make me want to barf. Like, it looks so unpleasant to the eyes.
this is
It really
this
does.
is the start of the final boss of the game.
So does
Basically,
it work, Dweebs, like your usual agents encounters?
Let me explain.
Oh,
Sure.
We're fighting one Agent Smith just like in the movie. Again, why all of them just couldn't attack him at once? I don't
Kinda
know.
like in
I love how
Roll,
when
yeah,
you actually
we
fall
should beat
against
the
them, they
Sentinel
just
for
throw
the second
they just throw the other back in the ring.
Smith
Yeah,
pile,
basically,
Smith pile.
They've turned the rest of the Agent Smiths into freaking lumberjacks from a wrestling lumberjack match.
Allow me to take one of my favorite lines from The Matrix Has You by Legendary Frog. Shouldn't we help him or something? No, it's your job to stand here and look blankly into space.
What's that, like the Matrix Abridged or something?
No, it's an old Flash pair. I'll show you after this.
They do the same with agents, this Agent Smith, but they do it more to help him back than just throwing me on the ground.
Now here's part of the issue. Whereas in the movie, that fight at least showed that you could do a live-action DBZ fight. Here, it's the standard fight you've had one-on-one with agents.
Well, that's because Joe, this is the first phase, I believe. So.
But that's the thing, though. If I recall correctly, we're gonna skip when we get to
Also,
a second.
Neo falling over like that again looks hilarious.
Again, though, I mean,
Don't
wouldn't
worry,
it be
Joe,
cool?
you'll see.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
One thing I like to bring
That
up
frame rate,
one thing I'd like to bring up from an earlier argument I made in this part is how, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with a developer changing directions in terms of, okay, they're tired of the cartoony platforming stuff, they want to do something different. That's fine. I don't mind that.
Naughty Dog.
Not just Naughty Dog. I mean, Sucker Punch did that as well. They
Yeah.
also moved on from
Sly to Infamous and now
from the sliders.
Tsushima.
Even Insomniac is also kind of slowly starting to be away with games like Sunset Overdrive and now the new Spider-Man game.
Well, they
And of
tried
course-
that with Feud and that didn't.
That was a problem entirely with EA. Don't.
Anyway, now we're on to the second phase. Now we're actually doing the flying
What is
around.
this music?
part.
What is this music?
No idea.
What the hell
don't know.
kind of music is this
Okay,
for
okay,
a final
let's just
dramatic
to
boss?
dance, Joe. Come on.
Okay.
Let me explain this phase. This is the part where we actually get to do the Dragon Ball-y bits.
Except it's not
The
so
problem
much.
is because of this game's really boring combat, It looks like it looks like someone. It looks like early Dragon Ball.
Allow me
Yeah,
to
I wish I was playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
allow
Me
me
as
to
well.
sum up the issue here. This is essentially Superman 64 means of flight, as in your standard means of flight is just standing in air, floating around, and you have to do a dash button in order to actually do proper
You're
flying.
actually right, Joe. It reminds me also of the Aquaman battle for Atlantis.
Yes, Pedro.
I'm curious, Dwibs. When you say early Dragon Ball, you mean the early Dragon Ball games? Because I don't think you've have you
No,
actually
I
played
meant,
those?
I meant the anime.
Oh no. Well, you mean in the beginning.
As in, this was what it was like when it was starting out, when it first did stuff like this.
Not really. I think it looked fine when they started doing it in Z, but whatever. That's beside the point.
And now, well, after this quickly, now we're just floating into the station like we're I don't know, like we're
Not just that, but
I don't know how to describe it.
like just to finish my thought. Like to give it like the reason I'm so miffed at Shiny suddenly becoming the Matrix licensed developer of sorts is because okay, as a term of comparison, Naughty Dog moved from Jack to Uncharted in later Last of Us. But here's the thing: when you take for example Jack, let's take Uncharted 1 for example. Uncharted 1 felt like a bridge in the sorts that even though they were going for for back to the 1940s adventure serials, much like Indiana Jones was one of those things. It's still incarnated the same with a lot of the sense of humor and stuff. Like for example, Neil Druckmann actually worked on Jack X, for example. So
Hell,
some
Bob,
stu-
that Uncharted 1 was like Bob Raffay's last game at Naughty Dog, you know, because
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
all the stuff for Crash and Jack.
Yeah, and Bruce Straley, of course, the guy who made one of the big guys at Crash Team Racing was. But the point is, it was a transition that they made with their own IP. It was an actual decision. Whereas they wanted to move on. Whereas this, it just feels like shiny.
That's funny. It's time for you to die, Mr. Anderson. You can tell I'm serious because I'm wielding a lead pipe at you, which I
breadstick.
did in the Senate room. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
that totally helped.
But I
Yeah.
think I get what you mean, Pedro, in a sense, but this was more like a mandate that Shiny didn't ask.
Yeah, as Alliance, they went from being one of the most creative developers out there to a developer of shitty licensed game.
What exactly did they do mainly before, these licensed games?
Or for Jim.
And
And-
Boogerman, I guess.
And allow me to remind you, Joe, before he founded Shiny, David Perry worked on the Mega Drive game of Aladdin, which is regarded as one of the best licensed games of all
Wait.
time.
Wait. You're telling me the same people who did Earthworm Jim and freaking Aladdin on the Sega Genesis did this?
Yes.
Yes, David Perry.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. This is almost comparable to Inti Creates doing Mighty Number 9. Although, to be fair, with Mighty Number 9, I pin a lot of that on Concept, who are supposed to be the idea people who tell the actual devs what to do.
It's sad because, like I said, David Perry went from doing one. David Perry went from making what is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, licensed games out there, to this. Well, possibly one of the worst licensed game ever made. Possibly.
So what did they do
Debatable,
after this? Oh, wait, they died.
The
Golden
Golden
Compass.
Oh, and that. Oh.
Again, I said before,
Oh
it
my-
was so bad. It was so bad it killed both Shiny and New Line Cinema.
Okay.
Yeah, at least when Sucker Punch did it, and Naughty Dog, they actually made it with their own IPs. An actual creative effort on their part.
Well,
Whereas-
but from what I get was that Sony actually basically asked an idea to the developers, saying, okay, we want for our new console something that's more in high definition, which looks a bit more realistic and less cartoony, but for the rest, do whatever you want. So that's why,
Well-
for example, Sucker Punch did a superhero video game, and Naughty Dog did
Adventure serial.
Adventure series, and Insomniac did an Alien Invasion with Resistance.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they made that.
So,
Yeah, even then they try to forget.
is the majority of, the whole adaptation of movie free just gonna be this one freaking boss fight? Like, seriously, I've played Kingdom Hearts games that have bosses with less phases than this guy.
Let me just
Yeah,
tell you, Dwibs, by the way, that this game is basically a shit version of the fighting in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which is one of the best Dragon Ball games out there.
Also, Dwibs, in terms
Also,
of freedom,
in fact, can we just play fighters instead? Oh wait, it's not out yet.
Dwibs, in terms of flying freedom, how well is this game of actually letting you fly around the city?
No, we're just locked in this area.
We're just
fighting.
So you're locked into a linear path around the city.
Yes, Joe, but that's how lazy this is.
And
Like,
this is still going.
There's a billion amounts of potential. You could literally, like, I don't know, like, you could literally go full Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on us, and you just do this.
So there's effectively less freedom in here than in Superman 64.
The thing that kills it to me, Pedro Boy, it's the fact that it's slow. Budokai, the Dragon Ball games have had this one simple rule: the fact that the fight happens extremely fast in order to accommodate the fast-paced action. Here, look at this; it's so slow.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. But even in Superman 64, you know, you're on a time limit half the time.
Well, that's the thing, Dwibs. Superman 64 has more freedom than this. That's how sad it is.
Yeah.
And what Superman 64, what was that? 1999.
Yes.
This is like, excuse me, what the fuck? This
Wait,
is like
you didn't
fighting-
even finish him off. What the heck?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Actually, that's an interesting thing. If we win the fight legitimately, we can actually alter the scene where it's Neo who drills Smith into the ground instead of the reverse.
Oh.
Okay.
The
Points
clip
for
thing.
that, I guess.
Wait, so what you're saying is that even if you lose this fight, it'll still progress the boss battle?
Well, yeah. Remember, Jova, the way it went in the movie was Smith kicked the shit out of Neo and he drilled him into the ground. However, if you manage to win the fight, it's reversed.
But doesn't that mean you can essentially lose the fight on purpose and you'll still progress through the boss?
Well,
No,
Jova,
I don't think so.
Well,
I haven't
it's
tried.
not it's not so much that, Jova. It's more so
Mega
if
Punch now.
you lose all your life, you will die.
Are you serious?
let me-
They're only just now they're presenting us new abilities.
Yeah.
All right, go on,
well,
Joe.
The way it works, Jova, from what I remember, because it's been years since I played this game. If you do well, in the sense that you don't get hurt at all, or you barely get hurt, then the game will reward you with that alternate scenario where it's Neo who. However, if you do shit at the battle, then they'll just do the movie route.
Oh,
If I
okay,
remember
okay.
correctly, that's how it is.
Wait, he went down that easily?
Also, that.
No, if you remember,
Again, this guy sounds nothing like
Oh
Hugo.
god,
Yeah.
that phase.
yeah, if you remember, Jova, this is the point of the movie where Neo, being almost beaten by Agent Smith, decided to sacrifice himself.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
game. I'm already iffy on sound-alikes, and you're not helping the case.
However, Tail, for
Yeah.
the finale of this game, the Wachowskis decided to go with something different, as you're about. Well, actually,
Yeah,
not in
again,
this part, I think.
Similar, yeah, I specifically used to edit
Yeah,
the
Tio
transition.
used his executive mandate and told me to edit that.
Yes.
What, dead in a boss theme?
No, you'll see. You'll see.
I wish Teo was executive producer for Peter Jackson.
Right.
You're well, not for a lot of things, Pedro, because since I like, oh god, you see those memes popping up.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
anyway,
because of
guys.
that.
Time.
Go ahead, Dwibs, since it's a game.
Anyway,